Need to practice piano in a pinch, or just find yourself without a keyboard when you need it most? GarageBand has the answer for you. Let me show you where to find it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a new project by either pressing the Create Song page here with the plus sign on it, or by hitting the plus sign up here at the top of your screen. So you want to make sure that you have tracks selected and not live loops. And if tracks is selected, make sure that you are in the keyboard section. You might have to scroll over depending on where your screen begins. And then of the four choices here at the bottom, starting with Smart Piano, Alchemy Synth, Sampler, and More Sounds, you are going to press or click on Alchemy Synth. So when you are presented with Alchemy Synth, you are most likely going to be in the synthesizer setting, which is not what you want to do to be practicing piano, obviously. So where it says Epic Cloud Formation or whatever synth sound you have currently selected, you're going to press those words one time and you're going to be brought up with the sound library. In the sound library, in the upper left-hand corner, it'll say Main Categories. Press or click that one time. Then you're going to select Keyboards. Press and click that one time. And for your best bet, and for what we'll do for purposes of this video, we are going to use the grand piano. But notice, if you've downloaded all the sound packs, you have a great many different things to choose from. Now, once you've selected grand piano, you'll notice that your screen will change and the background. And to get rid of this menu so you can get on to the next step, you can either press or click done here in the corner, or you can simply press or click outside of the window like I just did. The next thing you want to notice is several of the different controls and commands here on your screen. So the middle picture tells you what voice you have selected. Over here on the left-hand side, you have the octave. So notice that some of the keys for the keyboard are labeled the C's. C2 and C3 an octave higher. So what you'll note is that each one of these C's tells you which octave or range of the keyboard you're dealing with. If you want to change those ranges, you can do that a couple of different ways. I'll start with the easiest one and most obvious, and that is with these arrows here, which will change your octaves by a measure of 1 each time you click it. Notice the difference in sound. You can also go a little lower up to a point. As this is actually a synthesized piano, though, you'll notice that you'll be able to go much lower or much higher than maybe you would on a real one. Now, also take note of this setting here in the middle. This is the glissando setting, and that allows you to simply slide your finger or your mouse across the keys as you would a normal piano. But you can change that setting if you saw the need to do so. It would change the scroll, and what happens here if you do that, you press and hold the key and you move to the left or right, it scrolls the keys over. So you can move to different octaves and things if you so choose. But for piano practice, this isn't very practical. So I'm going to reset approximately where we were and change it back to glissando. The next setting or button you want to be made aware of is the one that looks like a little piano keyboard itself. And this is where the meat and potatoes of this video is going to get into. So here is where you can change the settings that will help you practice the piano the most. Right now, you'll notice we have a single row of keys. You can switch that to a double row of keys. We'll come back to that setting here in a moment. And you can also change the width of your keys. Now, I find that for me, for the most part, the widest width works best, but your mileage may vary depending on the size of your fingers and your hands. So you can actually make the keys more narrow and fit more octaves of them on the screen. You'll see here now we have a full 2.5 octaves on the screen. But the keys can get even more narrow if you choose this last option here. Now you've got 3 full octaves of piano keys on your screen. Pretty cool, huh? Now, you may be saying, oh, my fingers aren't that slender. Well, you can always go back. It's not a big deal. And then you can also add a second layer. So now you can play two-handed if you want, because even the largest iPad screens don't necessarily lend themselves to playing two-handed, and iPhone screens definitely don't. For example, So you can literally play two-handed if you want. And even while in this split screen mode with the piano key, you can change the width of the keys. Now you have a much wider range of pitches available. And if you are in the double layer and you go to the most narrow key setting, you basically have the entire keyboard at your disposal, give or take a few keys. You can always, of course, change that if you wanted to switch over back to the scroll settings. But again, for practicing piano, probably not the best bet to do that. All right. And that's it in a nutshell. If you are in a pinch and you can't get access to an actual keyboard or piano, this is a very simple way for you to practice piano on your iPad or, to a lesser extent, your iPhone or iPod Touch.
If you found this video helpful, then please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment below and share it with someone you know. It truly helps out a lot. Thanks, and see you next time.